In answer to some of the questions we have received, let's take some time to better understand the term psychic being in greater depth. The soul and the psychic being differ slightly, though the divine essence of both is the same. The soul is the divine flame that dwells eternally in the very center of one's being. For some, it may exist in the stage of a spark. In others, it may be fully developed as a being of light. There are all kinds of gradations between these two extremes, depending upon one's personal evolution or level of spiritual development. The psychic being is a sort of a sheath that surrounds the soul. It forms progressively and grows as it transmigrates through the person's various lifetimes, continuing its journey to the endless loop of life, death, and rebirth. In each birth, it forms itself more and more, evolving all the time, and takes on an individualized personality after going through many lives. Eventually, when it is fully formed, it itself becomes the consciousness of the divine flame it encircles as a sheath. Each and every psychic being is unique, therefore to take on the exact personality or characteristics of any other person is impossible. It is the psychic being who supports the body, life, and mind of a human from within. We connect the word psychic with anything that has to do with occult, meaning a gift or skill a human develops through some effort, prescribed method, or some other phenomena. Divine consciousness of our psychic being is all-knowing, indestructible, and has an enlightened personality within us that attempts to influence all parts of our being to transform them. It awaits patiently for us to eventually realize who in a sense we truly are. To bring this realization to us is not an easy task for the soul or the psychic being. Our mental ego, the vital being, the desire soul, which is part of the lower vital, and even the body puts up a great deal of resistance despite all the psychic being's efforts and influence. In the face of such resistance, it remains in most of us hidden behind these many layers of externalized consciousness of mind, emotions, and the demands of our various beings. The psychic resides in a secret place positioned behind the heart chakra called the cave of the heart, known in Sanskrit as Hriday Guhyam. When it is formed and active in the psyche, one feels the vibrations in the heart region, especially while meditating, feeling wholehearted devotion for divine, or going through the sensations of love that is unselfish or unconditional. It tries to participate in life of the individual and sends its signals through the resources available to it, employing the mental, emotional, and physical beings to express it. Oftentimes, these intimations sent by it are not entirely accepted by these others, as they are not aware of its divinity or the power of its suggestions. Until they become transformed by its influence, they choose to mix their own mental ego, vital desires, and hopes and fears that create all kinds of resistance to impede its pure action. Thus, very limited influence of it manifests in their activities. This is why it takes so long for the psychic to pierce all the veils and step forward to take charge of the psyche. The psychic being functions by its all-knowing faculty. The cultural norms or morals established by human beings hold very little value in its eyes, if any. I know of an incident that exemplifies just how short-sighted societal rules can be. Some 50 or so years ago, in a province in India, the parents of a well-respected family discovered that their daughter, an unmarried teenage girl, had become pregnant. In Indian society, such an adulterous act is considered the epitome of shamefulness, and the perpetrator is practically criminal. The parents were followers of a guru, and so they went to consult him. As they told him of their plight, the guru said, "You are ashamed to keep her at your place, aren't you?" Yes, they were. "So," said the guru, "in that case, you will never stop making her feel small, and perhaps will not even help raise the newborn as your own. I suggest you leave her here in our ashram, and we will take care of her." With a sigh of relief, they left their daughter in the care of the hermitage. She lived there as a daughter of the guru, and after some time gave birth to a son. Her son, from a young age, showed great potential, and years later rose to great heights. He became one of the most evolved and beloved disciples of the Master and was revered by many. This is a unique trait of independence from all man-made rules and morals that I have noticed in all evolved beings. In appearance, they may choose to go with the flow, but inwardly, what comes from the psychic being always takes the precedence. The influence of the psychic being can be detected in just about any aspect of life. The key is learning how to become conscious of its participation, both in one's own activities as well as in the actions of others. My guru once gave me the task of bringing to him a piece of poetry or any writing of my liking. Every evening, I'd bring him, in my estimation, a splendid piece of Hindi literature of my choice. I felt elated each time I presented to him such a choice piece of writing. He would accept it smilingly, read over it, and place it in a special folder and file it away. After several days of witnessing this, I asked him meekly, "I hope the writings that I bring please you?" "Oh," he responded, "indeed, these are some beautiful pieces of fine literature. The expressions, the poetry, the words used, all of it is lovely, but I prefer a different kind of writing." I didn't understand. These were the finest pieces I could possibly present, but still there was something else he preferred instead. He must have read my bafflement by the expression on my face, and so he kindly explained, "You see, when one writes, speaks, or addresses people in any form, unless the inner being is involved in these activities, it is not going to be very effective. Take the example of Kabir. He was not educated at all. If his poetry was judged by the standards we have today, it would be found to lack good language, be full of grammatical mistakes, and have faulty meters. However, even after the hundreds of years, his poetry still touches the heart of all that aspire for some higher things in life. And why is it so? Because it emanated from his psychic, so it will affect the readers on their psychic part. Similarly, creations arising from the emotive part will reverberate in the emotions of readers. Any scholarly talk emanating from the mind will only stay in the minds of others for a bit, but will soon be forgotten. Therefore, it is important, especially for people working with the public, to have their psychic being participate in their endeavors. The soul will have to be brought out to the fore somewhat, if not fully, to be able to leave a mark in the psyche of people you work with. Think about it. At that time, as I was an avid student of the literature and was attracted by the lure of eloquent writings, it was a bitter pill to swallow. With time, though, it happened on its own. As I grew and developed further into my spirituality, I naturally began to lose interest from those creations that did not have a psychic's current running through it. By the same token, I have a hard time listening to the lectures or talks or presentations if I find no soul behind it? It has no luster, no substance, no value in my eyes. Sri Ramakrishna placed no value on merely mental knowledge. His foremost disciple, Swami Vivekananda, was very fond of all kinds of mental theories from his young age. No one could win in a debate with Swamiji, as his hold on all kinds of knowledge was so extensive. So his guru, Sri Ramakrishna, to bring home a point, once asked him to pick up an almanac from the shelf. He complied. The guru asked him to give him the amount of rainfall for the present time. As Swamiji started to read all the predictions, the guru interrupted and asked him to ring the book and give him the results. Swamiji didn't understand. The guru repeated his request. As Swamiji started to ring the book, the guru asked, "How much of water did you get?" "None," he answered. "My child," said Ramakrishna, "just as this book cannot provide you even with a drop of water, though it is an authority on rainfall, so is all bookish knowledge and the people who have it. Turn within, explore yourself, and you will find a contentment that beggars description. Leave the mind behind, as its place is way down on the staircase you are to climb."